welcome to Boardroom at CEPTES. I'm your host Charu. We are back again in our Boardroom. Today, we have with us our very special guest, Mr. Ankur Desai, who is the VP of Salesforce Practice and Delivery, Data Cloud and AI COE. And today we are going to talk about a very important topic, which is org consolidations in Salesforce. Hello Ankur, welcome to the show.
Hey, hi Charu.
Long
Thank you so
time,
much.
Ankur.
Yeah, it has been a long time.
Yeah.
We are talking on something. Last time we spoke on any specific topic?
We talked about AI.
Oh, AI data.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now, Ankur, these days, in CEPTES also, SATSOC, I've been here and I had a few requirements also when I had a discussion with you. So we are having a few projects where we are doing org consolidation.
Okay.
So I wanted to know exactly what org consolidation is when it comes to Salesforce and what is the need of it exactly.
Okay. Good. So, I will first explain generally when we talk about org consolidation. People get confused what exactly is org, right? So, in a Salesforce world, when Salesforce is a multi-tenant platform, right? So, whenever there is a customer, when they look for a CRM, when they implement Salesforce CRM, Salesforce assign them instance, cloud instance. For that cloud instance, they call it org. Okay? In that term, they call it org. So, this is what is the org all about. So let's say if I have a client, I have purchased Salesforce CRM, Sales Cloud, for example, or a Service Cloud. It's a cloud-based subscription service, so they buy the license, and once they buy the license, a user-based license, they get that instance allocated to the client.
Right.
And then, so all consolidation is basically, there are various aspects to it. Okay? One is that it's a very large client, multinational client, having operations in multiple countries globally. Those clients, for the data privacy issue, for compliance issues, XYZ reason, some of the clients will go for a multi-org approach. Okay? That's one area, but that's the actually requirement, business requirement, and they are planning, they are implementing Salesforce in a way where different orgs are running in different geographies.
Right.
That's one aspect. Second aspect is there are companies, large companies, when they acquire different companies right, across the globe. And if those companies are also using Salesforce instance separately as a separate legal entity, they may be having a different orgs running. Okay. So, org consolidation is basically many companies, when the business scenarios gets changed, they go for consolidating the different orgs running in different geography or maybe for different purpose, for number of business reasons.
On different companies that they have acquired.
So they might want to consolidate everything into a single org. Okay, so that's what is called org consolidation. There are pros and cons to it, but it's a very interesting subject. Why? Because a lot of large organizations are now considering that for various reasons.
So, understood, very well explained. So, can you throw light on, maybe a recent story about a use case that you might have worked on?
Okay, so I will take one example of one of the multiple clients that we are working on. All the clients are consolidating their orgs for different reasons.
Okay.
Different purposes. One of the clients I can answer or I can talk about. They are a large software vendor. Software vendor in the sense they have found across 150 countries they have operations running. They're selling the software. Okay. For specific domain. Okay. And over the period of time, they acquired a lot of companies, software ISV companies, and then they are now upselling, cross-selling, bundling all the software solutions or software products to their clients. And they have a different, I would say, around more than more than 1 lakh customers across the globe.
Yeah.
So to manage those customers, their sales team is using different sales cloud instances.
Okay.
So for example, they have a instance running in for Europe market. They have a instance running for US market. For APEC, they have a different instance running. Now their idea is, there are a lot of challenges they are facing. So one challenge is maintaining the different licensing for all those jobs. That's one area. There is no consultation. So they are actually, because license is the highest part of Salesforce where your recurring cost, right? And that's a very important factor for all the organization, for a large organization when you have a large system running. Okay. So licensing is one area, the problem area they are facing. Second is that data is disparate in different systems, different org. So there is no consolidated view. Their management or executive team or CXO team, they are not getting that final view. They can do that with the different integrations. They can do that. It's not that, but
it's a complex process.
Other overheads, data view is not very structured and very the quality kind of things. But so that's one area. Operations is also a problem. Different sales team can't view the products, software product of other org that is running. And you have to actually sync all the data across, all that. Lot of other technical complexities also involved. And that is the reason their sales team is not very effective in terms of selling their products or cross-sell or upsell or that kind of thing. So that's where, that line, basically they are looking for consolidating the entire different orgs, different geography, the orgs running in different geography, and the orgs that are acquired by them the different companies that they acquire. Those orgs they want to consolidate and create a single CRM system. Okay. So that's the example I wanted to give you, and we are working, and it's a very complex and large program for us.
Okay, so this was the high level of the project that we've been working on. So apart from that, even though mostly you answered this question, but I want a summarized, crisper version of it. What are those top signs that companies should see that okay, this is the time I should start considering consolidation of my orgs?
Okay, I think when in a funny way, when the sales team starts fighting in front of CXOs, that's the sign. Should look at how you manage your different sales team, managing different CRM systems. See, generally, and that's true for all the CRM systems, not only for Salesforce. Because all your sales team needs a very seamless sales cycle, so that they can close the deals very quickly. That's the business requirement. And to close the deals, you should have a very functioning system where entire data is available. It should be very smooth. When you see that your sales team is struggling to get the deals getting closed, and because of the reason that you have a different instance running in different geography or different areas, or maybe for different purpose, for different teams, there is a room for consolidating your licensing part as well. Okay, so there are multiple signs that you will see, that frictions when you see within your sales team, and you see that it's because of their different systems running. That's when you should actually start thinking about consolidating your and it's very, now we, like the clients that we are working, we have a very defined process how to do that. Okay? And once you have that, it's not very straightforward also, because you have to migrate the different data into, consolidate everything, migrate to the single instance and all that. Lot of planning required. But what I'm trying to tell you is that if you have a good partner and a defined process in place, you can very well achieve that. Okay? And that will save you a lot of dollars, it will save you a lot of efforts, it will save a real synergy will be there between your sales teams and different teams working. And the plus point is your management will get a very consolidated view.
Yeah.
You can eliminate a lot of overheads, the integration that you do with different data warehousing system and all that. And one thing I would like to highlight, our favorite subject, AI, because the entire world is moving towards AI era, right? And of course, for smaller things, we can use AI today. But for the large enterprises, to actually getting value from this AI hype all around, data is key. And how you manage that data, how quality data is available, so that you can use your Gen AI or LLM or any private LLM or anything model that you want to use and generate a real insight or decision making or automation, end-to-end automation, unless and until you have a proper data strategy in place.
Right.
And consolidation is one area that you should start with. Because you will face the problem. When you actually go on an AI journey, and when you start your AI journey, the very first obstacle you will face is your data part of it. Scattered data here and there. So it's not only, so when you consolidate your application doesn't mean it's application also, it's also data you're consolidating. So that's where I think it's very important step for any organization to go think about that strategy, consolidating the org.
Very well. So mostly, Ankur, I have understood, so I expect my viewers to have understood the value of org consolidation. It might seem like a simple idea that, we're consolidating ours, but technically and execution level, it is very complex, as you explained. So, Ankur, what is that one advice that you would like to give to all the enterprises that might be facing these obstacles and are thinking to, consolidate all those CRM systems?
I can talk about Salesforce side of it. The consolidation is an overall aspect for any organization. It's not only for the enterprise, it's not only about one system. But if I talk about in the Salesforce context or Salesforce CRM context, the very first thing is once you have a need, the very first thing required is you need a good partner to understand the Salesforce platform in and out of it. Because that's the very first obstacle we will face. It's not a cakewalk like, you hire few people from the market and then you will start working on. It's not like that. You need a good partner who can strategize it properly and create that program plan, how you migrate all your different orgs to a single org and move that data. Like in a Salesforce world, it's a platform where entire Salesforce is running based on the metadata concept. So everything is basically configuration. So you can plan that metadata migration to that destination or that you are talking about where you want to consolidate, plus the actual data that you will migrate. So there are two strategies should work combined together, metadata and then the data part of it. And the third most important part is the integration with the external integration. So the CRM is integrated with your ERP, the data warehouse system, your any different lead generations software that you are using, everything, right? Accounting system.
There are so many applications
that are integrated. So how you actually build those integrations in a centralized way, that is also the important area one should look for.
So that's all for today, Ankur. Thank you so much for this important, insightful topic. I think it is a little bit under the ground right now, but as time passes and as enterprises start realizing that this is an important problem, they should definitely start thinking about this side of things. Right?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Charu.
Thank you, Ankur. And to the listeners, thank you so much for joining me for Coffee and Reading with CEPTES. Be sure to tune in the next time as well for such techy and happening conversations. Until then, I'm your host Charu signing off. See you on the flip side.